I hope everybody's there. I've had a bit of a problem. Um, I've got a little arrow now up my nose. I don't know what it means. Um, but I couldn't find Facebook. Anyway, hello everybody. My son is just waving me goodbye. Um, uh, Listen, thank you for joining me here on Facebook Live. Oh, what a to-do I've had. I couldn't find my Facebook app. I'm a little bit backward on the computer. Anyway, I hope you're all keeping well. Fingers crossed you all are. It's a very difficult time right now. I have actually been recording my Christmas messages. I had to decorate a room with flashing lights, Christmas trees, because I wanted to send all my publishers worldwide, best wishes for Christmas and hope that they're all staying well and safe. It was very funny, really, because my son Lorcan was directing, and he's a little sort of Steven Spielberg in the making, but he will not say action. He does this. And I'm saying, I can't see what you're doing. He says, oh, for goodness sake, talk. Anyway, we got through it, and I was able to send a lot of messages to everybody, including all my Facebook friends. Um, I tell you, um, he is so odd because the first time directing, that was me licking my finger because I've got a page of notes here. But anyway, I will get on with the news that I've got for you. Last year, I recorded a podcast. Um, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure what a podcast was. And then Twiggy rang me and she said, oh, hang on a second. That was the mobile. Sorry. Panic over. Hang on, I better tell her. They're ringing about the panic. No, she's gone. Anyway, sorry about that mobile ringing. Oh, it's gone again. Hello, I'm on Facebook. Okay. Bye bye. You're on the screen now with me, Tori. Bye bye. Oh dear. It's been such a panic. Anyway, podcast. So Twiggy rings me and she said, I'm doing a podcast. And I said, oh, really? She said, would you be on it? It's Tea with Twiggy. Well, I thought I was going to have a cup of tea. But no, it was her interviewing me on the phone, pretending we were having tea. But then I did my own podcast. It's called Listening to the Dead. Now, I've spoken many times before about how important research is to me when writing any of my books or TV shows, whatever. I always absolutely say to writers, if you're going to interview somebody, show them respect. They're giving you your time or their time for free. And so, in a way, listening to the dead is me showing my respect to the people that have helped me. In particular, I want to show you, any writer out there, you want to get this book. It's called Traces, and it's by the most wonderful Professor Patricia Wiltshire. She is absolutely astonishing. And on my podcast, Listening to the Dead, you can hear her talking about uh, botany and ecology. I'll read you a little bit. Soil, leaves, plant materials. She analyzes at a crime scene. If a body has been moved from one place to another, they can tell exactly where from by traces of plant material or soil. She said she likes to be first on a crime scene before anything is moved or touched. She is absolutely fascinating. And please get her book if you're interested in this, because her description of solving murders, how a footfall in a bed of nettles can bend and then grow back. And she is able to determine by the bend in the nettle bed exactly when that footfall happened. It's a fascinating read. So I'll just hold it up one more time for you. There you go. Traces, the memoir of a forensic scientist and criminal investigation. Any writer doing crime, get this book. That's the promo over. Now, I've got my notes, you see. I'm being very professional tonight. Oh, I've got... Wait a minute, I've listened to my notes. Oh, no, I've got a double page there. Right. Listening to the Dead, my podcast, has been a huge success. And I've had an incredible positive feedback about it. So we're going to be recording a new series 2 in November. Me and my former absolute dependable man that I can't actually write without him being somewhere in the periphery of me. And he was a DI and a CSI with the Met Police, and he's called Cass Sutherland. And the pair of us are interviewing in the new series, which is titled Listening to the Dead, Cause of Death. In each episode, we will be discussing and examine blunt force, which is a bit of a joke, because my last novel, Jane Tennyson, was called Blunt Force. How often do you hear in every detective show, be it Midsummer Murders, be it Lewis, be it Morse, whatever, you'll hear the pathology say, blunt force trauma. Oh, yeah, how many blows? Well, there was a large one and a small. But that's what we will be dealing with, blunt force trauma. We'll also be looking at drowning. How many cases, are brought in and they first say drowning, and then, pathologists will come up with something and say, there's no seawater, it's bath water. So that's a very interesting level, and we will have a specialist discussing drowning. We'll also blast injury, which is another thing, gunshot wounds, asphyxiation. The interesting thing was, you remember in the case of Jeffrey, what's his name? Epstein in America. There was a lot of query about how he hanged himself. That's what's interesting. So asphyxiation, they presume that, or it was suspicious, because there's a little bone there that is hard to snap, I think. You'll find more from the podcast. Also, we'll be doing knife wounds. I mean, often we've seen Agatha Christie TV show, even Poirot, where they say, oh, yes, you were looking for a 6-inch blade. How do they know it's a 6-inch blade? How do they know it's a serrated edge? A pathologist will be able to track that knife wound down into the body and say exactly what you're looking for. And so it's always, the reality is much more interesting. You've got a knife sticking in someone and a corpse, and on site somebody will say, oh yes, you're looking for a 6-inch blade. You don't know, it could be 7, 10, 14. Anyway, that's another very interesting part of the new podcast. And also poisoning. I've done quite a few poisonings. Mushrooms, I did one on those. Very, very interesting. Also, the devil's breath. You know about that? Recently, I read a case here in I think it was England, and it's a plant that grows in Colombia. And if you blow it on somebody, they lose all memory, everything. Fascinating. But we will be dealing with a lot of poisoning and different, some people can smell strychnine, some people can't. Some people can smell arsenic. Arsenic, everybody knows, oh, it smells of almonds. Well, it doesn't necessarily. Some people can't smell it. So there are the interesting scientists that we'll be talking through on the next Listening to the Dead. Well, I've got more here about my podcast. Sorry about this. I should have turned the page and I didn't. Oh, I tell you another nice piece of news is the Trial and Retribution. For the very first time, the Trial and Retribution series will be available in audiobooks. On November the 5th, they will be released and available from all audio retailers. It's very good, November the 5th. I have to tell you a very funny story about when I was filming Trial and Retribution. And I'm at home, and I get a little bit headwise, crazy. The phone rings. I go, hello. And this voice goes, hello, darling, it's Joan. Now, I know quite a few Joans. I even know Joan Collins, but this wasn't Joan Collins. But I was unsure exactly who it was. Hello, darling. And I'm thinking, how did this person get my phone number? Home phone number. Anyway, listened. And she said, listen, darling, I've had rather a hard time. I've been out of work for a very long time. And then I realized who she was. And she was once an exceedingly well-known actress. And so she said, have you got anything for me, dear? I'm pretty desperate. And I said, well, Joan, I'm so sorry, but I've really cast everything at the moment. But I mean, the only thing that I know I haven't cast is a cadaver in a scene. She said, yes, darling, does it say anything? And I said, well, no, actually, it's in the death throes. It's in a hospital bed and it's dying. Oh, God. Does she throw about a bit? And I said, yes, she does. She does. She does throw about a bit and moan a lot. And then she's dead. Well, all right, dear, I'll do it. So I said, fine. And I knew it would be a day's filming for her. So I said, well, shall I call your agent? Oh, well, I've not spoken to her for 10 years, but yes, maybe. And I said, well, I can call your agent or I can send the money directly to you. It's a day's filming and I'll send a car for you. And everything was arranged. I was sending a car for her. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to be at the filming. I was in America. So I organized everything, even a chair with her name on it. So she would be very spoilt because she was at one time a very well-known actress. So I ran from New York and I said, how did it go? And the producer said, listen, we had a really good day. I mean, she's an amazing lady. She kept us all amused the entire day, but we were very slow filming and we weren't able to fit her in. So we found her a very nice bed sit. It's a little hotel just near the studio. We were filming in Twickenham at the time. And he said, well, what she will do is I'll get her here tomorrow. She'll be first off tomorrow and then finished by the afternoon. And she was very happy about it. And I said, oh, good. That's another half day money for her. So the next day I call again and I said, how did it go? And he said, she was remarkable. Her death throes were incredible, very moving. And I said, that's fantastic. He said, but the bad news. I said, what's the bad news? He said, well, the little hotel we sent her to have just called to say that the duvet, the towels, the toilet roll, the bedside table carpet has gone. And I said, what? Well, she must have taken a black plastic bag and removed the lot. And he said, what do we do? I said, pay the hotel, let it go. And so that was, sometimes a lesson to say, watch these old actresses, their case. But, sometimes, I don't know, it's a very cruel business at times because she was once very well known. I'm not going to say her name and because she's gone now anyway. So onwards, I think I've got a lot of questions. And so I should be answering the questions and keeping my pages in order as instructed. Righty-ho, questions. This is from Charlie. If you had to play on screen any of the characters from your books, who would it be and why? Well, I've always said no, I'd never ever do anything. And now at my age, my age, I suppose if forced and if the wonderful Linda Marlowe is not able to do it, I'm hoping when we televise and make the series of Buried that her character will come back. And, she's outrageous character. And so I suppose That's the one I do from She's Out. Um, the Harden one, who shot Dolly Rawlings. Oh, this is news now coming in on my phone. How can you not stop these blurby news? Anyway, question 2. Mark, this is from Mark. You said before that the next Anna Travis novel is being written. Could you give us a hint of what happens? P.S. I love Blunt Force. Oh, thank you, Mark. Secretly, you'll be surprised how much of Blunt Force is based on real characters. I'm amazed I haven't been sued. But then I have cloaked their identity pretty well. Anyway, Anna Travis, she is coming back. And I've got quite a lot written, but you know me, research, research, research. I've got to find out more about Quantico in America, because that's where she's been doing research. She'll be coming back. Anne Langton. I've got it all in here. Just let me cover the research. So, from Mary, who is your favorite living author? Well, I'm not going to, pick one, but the ones I admire, I admire Karen Slaughter. She's very dark. I also like Martina Cole, who's equally outrageous, and I love her anyway too. But I think one of my most favorites is Michael Connolly. I love his work. I love Wash, and I love his TV series, and the fact that he waited 20 years before he could get his detective on the screen and proved to be huge success. Also, Michael Connolly is a very fascinating crime writer because I happen to know his agent, who is a close friend of mine in New York. 20 publishers turned down Michael Connolly. 20. And his agent would not let go, would not let go. He kept on and on and on. So that's to everybody out there writing. That's your incentive. Remember, no does not mean no. Okay, onwards. The truth is, I also actually, read a lot of fiction. I'm just going to show you a book. I love this book. This is called The Sphinx, and it's by Hugo Vickers. This is the stuff that I really like to read that kind of eases my head from crime. This is a wonderful, wonderful book, and it's about the Duchess of Marlborough and this woman, Gladys Deacon. And it's you just are astonished how somebody in the 20s and 30s and 40s, how they traveled, how this absolutely wonderful woman did become exactly what she wanted to dream of being, the Duchess of Marlborough. Anyway, I digress. This is from Claire. I love reading Buried. What's next for Detective Jack Ward? Well, I've just been sent the jacket of Judas Horse. That's the next one coming up. Um, I'm not going to tell you much about it in this Facebook because I'll tell you more about Judas Horse. So you'll have to join me again when it's going to be published. This is from Susan. I came to see you in Brisbane, Australia. You said that you'd like to set a book in Australia. Any plans to do so? Ha ha! Yes, I have. Um, Due to the situation we're all stuck in, I'm stuck here at home, working from home. That's not too much of a problem for me because I've always worked in solitary confinement. So I have been very productive. And I have another Jane Tennyson coming out called Unholy Murder. And right on the back of that will come Jane Tennyson going to Australia. She's uncovering a cold case. I've set it in Australia, so I'll be invited over there to do more research. But again, it's all up here. It's all up here. This is from Holly. If one gin and tonic was outlawed, what would your go-to drink for your Facebook Live events be? Well, I think, Holly, I'd have champagne, you know. As it is, I've got a very large gin and tonic here, but it would be champagne. I do like champagne. I like red wine. I like white wine. In fact, I'm a bit of a drunk. Anyway, here's a final piece of very exciting news. Crime Con, the world's #1 true crime event, is coming to London in June next year, and I will be headlining. Over the weekend, you can see true crime documentary makers, experts, podcasters, law enforcement, professionals, and me. I'll be there. Anyway, you see www.crimeconco.uk for further details. Shall I say that again? www.crimecon.co.uk. Then you get all the details of this crime con. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I could enjoy telling you about. And truthfully, I'm so proud of you all being listening to me and seeing me, because I can't see you. But this is terribly important that I can reach out and talk to you, because my pride and joy, Buried and Blunt Force, 2 books, and they've been in the top 10 sellers list for 18 weeks. It's all down to you, my fans that go out and buy the books, and I'm really, really so indebted to you, because it means so much. You know, you say, oh, she's an old bat, she's been writing for years. It isn't the same, you know. You look at that top 10, there you are, and you go, oh, I'm there, I'm #2. How can I nudge up to #1? Well, maybe Judas Horse will go up to #1. But I don't know. I keep on writing because, you know, the truth is you're only as good as your last novel. So you've got to be pretty good, and you've got to keep on working. And I keep on working, and I hope I'm entertaining for you. And I hope you enjoy listening to me prattle on. And all I do is now wish you all health and safety at this very difficult time in our lives, and to share love with an awful lot of people and friendship. And so that's it from me tonight. Thank you for being with me. Bye bye.